This game gonna mentally fuck me, bro. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorite are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimum level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expected that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really? If a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Me right now. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud, and give that back. Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them this sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We'll all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. What the hell? I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Virtue? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have the other clubs to look at, and I'll lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Virtue. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really hard to find new members. And if you don't mind one more before the if I don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls, right? Okay, I've decided then. I'll join a literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Virtue? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Virtue, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment? Write a poem and bring the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over to me at once. Virtue, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school with the literature club? Perhaps I'll have a chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Yes. I can't convince myself to go to therapy when I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'd rather keep this up until I blow my cover and someone takes me to the emergency room. What the hell? What the freak, dude? Let me save, I guess. So we're gonna go with her, Graveyard. Disown. Raindrops. That one. Despise. Uncontrollable. Grief. Tears. Rain cloud. Fuck. Disaster. Misery. Lust. Sadness. What the fuck is this? Existence. Death. Uncanny. Lazy. Fuck. Broken. Whatever word that was. And horror. I think I'm gonna do one more episode just to see the differences between the way this playthrough is going. But anyways, that's the end of this episode. I'm Virtue the Phoenix. This game fucks me up. And I'm out. Damn. Unless something crazy happens, this is the last episode I'm recording today. Because anyways, what up? It's your boy Virtue the Phoenix. And welcome back to Doki Literature Club. Still the same day. What is this? Episode 8? Anyways, let's just get this going. Let's get right into this. Hi again, Virtue. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha 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 ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Virtue. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Bro, that shit's freaking me out. On the real. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come. I lose my mind if the music get weird. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Damn. Natsuki, certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the club room. What the fuck? Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga. Manga is literature. Slowly defeated, Natsuki plops back in her seat. I'm sorry, Virtue. What the fuck? We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, in this club, you're in the club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Well, wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. The music messed up again. I want to try and be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just feel like, well, as vice president and all, that should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into the bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, Discuss it if you want it. How's this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. Those are the same books she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she knows me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. I wonder if it would have went this way if I picked her first. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed it in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyways? Well, I look at her cover of her book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol in the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse. And they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and asphyxiating them to... oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. Jesus. But anyways, I really into it. The book, I mean. Not about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? You made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. You're not a fan of that sort of thing, Virtue? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, is the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. What the fuck? What the hell is happening, dude? No, I'm reading that. Stopping recording. It said, then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to the other people. No, that's getting read. Good thing I'm recording it. It said her whole body gets incredibly passionate or something. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start looking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well start reading it, right? What the fuck? Shit's scaring me. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book and I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the next seat of Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. Open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not particularly a bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. You know what I gotta do. It said she was bathing in the feeling of my body heat. Are those like our eternal thoughts? Internal thoughts? Will that be happening if I... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work, right? I slid my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. It's adorable. Yuri takes her arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and the forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after I flipped it to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. He has a boner, bro. It's as if I feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page? Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it on my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it in her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to that character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. This is getting kind of weird, dude. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Virtue, did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyways, why don't we start with sharing our poem with each other? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd have started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. This is getting strange, dude. I'm gonna save again. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and then I slip it back into my bag. I guess Natsuki's. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair I share mine with her. Virtue, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. Well, what? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. My man! Painful to think about. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you to go. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I gotta go share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. I've read that one before. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do good things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. You understand? But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then I made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in less time. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with a little comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Hi, Virtue. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you have any suggestions for the club, like activities or other things to do better, I'm always listening. Don't forget to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Virtue. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hit my poem to manga. Great job, Virtue. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know what Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imaginary and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally giving up on people. She spends so much time in her own head, and it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly, like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that it took you time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyways, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry. I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who just claims not to be good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. This girl is crazy. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the time between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
Forgive me, I know all my niggas, they reckless. Never had shit, man, we straight from them trenches. Lord, I just pray that a nigga don't tell me, cause bitch, I'ma die with the Smith and Wesson. I hang with them